As you saw in the title, in this video I am creating something I would call ugly. But let's start in the beginning. For this piece I am using oil pastels, which Meeden was so kind to send to me. Thank you so much for that. I have never used this medium before, but what drew me to it initially was that it is probably the complete opposite of how I like to work. Usually I like to have control, I like to work precise and always with a plan. So here I am facing this material. The best way to describe these oil pastels would be lipstick, a very buttery lipstick you're smearing onto the paper. I wanted to get a feel by swatching all the colors and the set, and it was just like I expected. Smudgy, smeary, oily, just wild. I did some tests on a separate sheet of paper to see how well you can blend it, and it does work quite nicely. But as soon as I experimented with blending, my mind started to already plan again. I tested potential color combinations and thought about my approach until I stopped myself from doing so. One reason being, I am kind of used to mixing my own colors to achieve the levels of saturation and brightness I need, and sets of pre-selected colors don't offer me enough variation. The other reason was that this is a totally new medium for me, and I think if I would have tried to create my usual semi-realistic work, I would just set myself up for failure. So I convinced myself to embrace these oil pastels how they are, in all their boldness and smudginess. This was the chance to let go of any expectations and pressure. The pressure to create something realistic and beautiful. Due to the size of the pastels, it was impossible to be precise anyway, and besides, I think they look best when not over-smudged and blended with a bit of texture. The most criticism I get is that my art looks too perfect. And with perfect, they mean it's too polished, too controlled, not reliable. And this is totally valid, and it's also something I would criticize about it myself. So I took this drawing here as a chance to let go of all of that. In the beginning, you saw my outline sketch, and it's kind of ironic that I spent so much time on it now that I think back, because as you can see, it's now all covered up anyway, and if I wanted to take things further, I could have had a more loose sketch to add onto this video's theme against perfectionism. Although I'd say I don't have an issue with perfectionism anymore, the idea of just creating without plan and experience with oil pastels did scare me a bit. You see, it's not only creating something you yourself would call ugly, but it's also putting it out there on my YouTube channel what scared me. We want to have this perfect online portfolio out there with just the work we're proud of. But the more I thought about it, the more I came to the conclusion that my YouTube channel is more of a personal art diary than a selected portfolio. And I wanted to show you my whole honest journey and thought process. I just remembered a quote from my former German teacher, which was Mut zur Hässlichkeit, which in English would be something like courage for ugliness. Now, I went into this knowing oil pastels won't be my main medium for creating artwork. I just got into starting oil painting and really want to focus on that on top of my usual graphite drawings. I knew oil pastels aren't for me, but I wanted to try them anyway. I think they're absolutely beautiful and I adore what others can create with them. And who knows, I might pick them up every now and then when I crave this feeling of total carefree freedom again.